Gautam Adani welcomes Supreme Court order on Hindenburg report row, decoding factors behind recent jump in Adani Group stocks. SEBI cracks down on finfluencers. Prime Minister Modi exhorts G20 nations to take global woes head-on. And good news for developers at ChatGPT and Whisper models are now available on API. This is Business Plus, your definitive edge to business and economy. The Supreme Court today ordered the setting up of a high-profile committee to probe the meltdown in Adani Group stocks following a damning report by Hindenburg Research. The panel comprises Nandan Nilekani, K.V. Kamath, former Supreme Court Judge A.M. Sapre, Somasekharan Sundaresan, O.P. Bhatt and retired Justice J.P. Devadhar. Now, responding to the order, Gautam Adani welcomed it and said that the truth will prevail. The apex court has told market regulator SEBI to conclude its investigation within 2 months and determine whether there was any manipulation of stock prices. The Supreme Court further said that the remit of the committee will be to investigate the row and suggest measures to strengthen the statutory framework. The apex court has also directed SEBI to ensure all information is provided to the committee and the report should be submitted in a sealed cover before the court. And Adani Group stocks continue to rise today, their third straight session of gains. All 10 listed entities of Adani Group ended today's session in green, with 5 stocks closing in the upper circuit. The group's flagship Adani Enterprises ended today's session almost 3% higher. The stock has surged about 35% in the 3-day rally. However, it is still 61% below its all-time high and about 53% below its January 24th closing price, the day Hindenburg came out with its report. Now, ahead of today's session, Adani Group saw heavy interest in block deal window. About 3.9 crore shares amounting to 3.5% equity of Adani Enterprises changed hands in today's session alone. The deal was worth about 5,520 crore rupees. Additionally, Adani Ports, Adani Transmission and Adani Green Energy also saw block deal in today's session. The primary trigger behind the U-turn of investor sentiment seemed to be the group's plan to repay share-backed loans worth $690 to $790 million by the end of the current financial year. Remember, among allegations of market manipulation and fraud, Hindenburg also raised concerns about the excessive debt on the group. Adani also rubbished a Reuters report that claimed that it had secured a $3 billion loan from a sovereign wealth fund. What's more, the group also welcomed Supreme Court's probe into whether the conglomerate has violated any securities law. The Securities and Exchange Board of India has barred as many as 31 entities, including actor Arshad Varsi, his wife and promoter of Sadhana Broadcast, from capital markets. SEBI's ban comes amid reports that these entities used social media platforms like YouTube to pump and dump shares of 2 companies, Sadhana Broadcast and Sharpline Broadcast. Now, in finance parlance, the pump and dump is a malpractice wherein the price of a stock and any other security is artificially inflated through false and misleading positive statements. The fraudsters, with the help of misleading information, create a buying frenzy in the stock. Now, this is the pump leg of the fraud. Once the price has risen significantly, they dump their holdings, thereby making a profit. In addition to the ban, SEBI has impounded illegal gains to the tune of 41.85 crore rupees made by these entities. Of these ill-gotten gains, Arshad Varsi is said to have made about 30 lakh rupees, while his wife Maria Goretti made about 37.5 lakh rupees. Zerodha's founder Nitin Kamath hailed SEBI's quick-fire action against the scam, adding that high-profile cases like these would hopefully serve as a powerful deterrent for manipulators. In updates from G20 events, Prime Minister Narendra Modi today urged G20 foreign ministers to overcome their differences and focus on the needs of the developing world. Speaking at the G20 foreign ministers meeting, Modi said that years of progress, the world is now staring at a risk of moving back on sustainable development goals. Modi said that the world looks at G20 countries to ease challenges and it has the capacity to tackle them and deliver results. Listen in to what the Prime Minister had to say.
We must all acknowledge that multilateralism is in crisis today. The architecture of global governance created after the Second World War was to serve two functions. First, to prevent future wars by balancing competing interests. Second, to foster international cooperation on issues of common interests. The experience of the last few years, financial crisis, climate change, pandemic, terrorism, and wars clearly shows that global governance has failed in both its mandates. We must also admit that the tragic consequences of this failure are being faced most of all by the developing countries. After years of progress, we are at risk today of moving back on the sustainable development goals.
And shifting focus now, Mukesh Ambani's Reliance Group is now getting into genetic mapping. The group will roll out a comprehensive 12,000 rupees genome sequencing test in India. The genome test, which is about 86% cheaper than other offerings available locally, can reveal a person's predisposition to cancers, cardiac and neurodegenerative ailments, as well as identify inherited genetic disorders. The project to bring affordable personal gene mapping to India's 1.4 billion people will potentially create a treasure trove of biological data that can aid drug development and disease prevention in the region. It also is in line with Ambani's ambition to dive further into the world of data, something he has often called as the new oil, as he pivots his $192 billion empire beyond refining into consumer and digital services. Now, Ramesh Hariharan, CEO of Strand Life Sciences, the Reliance subsidiary developing the product, feels that an aggressive price point to drive adoption would give the company a chance to build a viable business in preventive healthcare. And Reliance is likely to deploy digital services and its recent e-commerce acquisition to push its genome testing product, which just needs blood samples that can be collected at home. Shifting focus, in a big move today to allow businesses to build ChatGPT tech into their services, OpenAI's ChatGPT and Whisper introduced application programming interface or API that are now available for developers at a reduced price. OpenAI has moved a step closer to monetizing ChatGPT from the launch of a premium service, ChatGPT Plus, in February, to now introducing an API that will allow any business to build ChatGPT into their services like apps, websites, products. ChatGPT API is powered by the same AI model behind the wildly popular ChatGPT, dubbed as GPT 3.5 Turbo. Now, developers will get the GPT 3.5 Turbo stable model with an option to opt for a specific version. It is 90% cheaper than the existing GPT 3.5 models and can be used for non-chat scenarios with very minimal adjustments in the code. Company will offer ChatGPT API at 10% of the price of their flagship models. The new ChatGPT API will cost $0.002 per 1,000 tokens. Snapping, Quizlet, Instacart, Shop and Speak are some of the new customers that are already using ChatGPT API in their products, OpenAI has said. Whisper, which is a speech-to-text model from OpenAI's stable with API priced at $0.006 per minute. Developers can get Whisper API in transcription and translation, and it also accepts various formats like MP4A, MP3, MPEG, among other formats. The announcement comes after Snapchat recently launched a chatbot powered by ChatGPT called My AI. Microsoft also added a new AI-powered Bing search to the taskbar. Hugely popular ChatGPT, remember, had registered about 100 million monthly active users as of December last year. And with that, it's a wrap on this edition of Business Plus. For more incisive news analysis and cutting-edge documentaries, keep streaming News 9 Plus. Thanks for watching.